The news site that I'm following this semester is National Public Radio, and for this assignment I'm looking at the NPR News mobile app. Version 3.7 is available in iPhone and a number of other platforms, and the one I've looked at was the iPhone. NPR refers to their app as a pocket-sized public radio that allows you to follow the news, listen to NPR programs, or stream your favorite station wherever and whenever you want. First, we'll look at the features. NPR says that you can hear, read, and share news stories and also hourly newscasts. It will pick up where you left off if you break off your listening and come back later. You can listen to live streaming programs, bookmark favorite stations, use audio controls to skip forward or pause, create a playlist of stories that you can come back to. You can listen to audio while browsing text stories, and several other features. The interface is generally pared down, simple, and intuitive, and NPR has scaled the content pretty well to reflect the smaller size of the mobile screen. First of all, let's look at the different areas of content. Across the bottom they have several different icons you can click on. The first one on the left is News, and you can browse news by top stories, by topic, or by newscast by first selecting the news icon, then selecting one of those three categories across the top of the screen. The second icon across the bottom of the screen is for programs, and you can listen to 27 different NPR programs. They either list them all or by topic, and they are categorized under news, talk programs, game shows, money advice, health advice, or music in general. The third icon across the bottom of the screen is for stations, and you can when you click on this, you get a list of stations by state, and you can pick one or more of these stations, add it to your favorites list, and then click on that and actually listen to the streaming signal of what is being played on that broadcast station at that time. You can pick other stations in other states. So for example, sometimes I like to listen to Wyoming Public Radio and Colorado Public Radio when I travel, and I can pick those stations that I listen to in those states and listen to those streaming at basically any time when I have my NPR app on. The next icon across the bottom of the screen is for playlist. If you're listening to a story, an NPR story, and you want to save it to your playlist to listen to later, you can add it to your playlist, and this is where you would go back and find it. Last icon on the bottom of the screen is the catch-all category, More, and you can use this area to send feedback, adjust the font size, tell a friend about the app. There's a FAQ and support links. You can also go here to download the NPR Music app or the PBS iPhone app. So let's look at NPR's strategy. Well, first of all, from the NPR.org website, we can get an idea of their audience size. You can see 26.4 million weekly on-air listeners, 17.2 million visitors to their website, and 24.7 million download their podcasts monthly. The median age is kind of interesting. The on-air listeners, median age is 49 years old, the website 40, and the podcast 36 years old. So the web users and podcast tend to be much younger. The nation's median age is 45 years old. So I believe that NPR realizes that their users probably view their content across a number of platforms. And it appears to me that they intend for their mobile app to fit into a sequential pattern of use that was cited in the Google report, The Multi-Screen World, that we read in the first week. In this instance, though, the other screen isn't actually a screen per se. It's your car radio or your home radio where you might be listening to the NPR programs. So, for example, say that you're listening to NPR in the car on your way home, and you're right in the middle of a story when you pull into your driveway. Well, NPR calls these driveway moments because a lot of people sit in their car and continue to listen. But what if you had the mobile app and could leave the car and continue the story on your app later? Well, I think this would fit the pattern that was cited in the Google multi-screen report that says 90% of people use multiple screens sequentially, that is, one after the other instead of at the same time, to accomplish a given task, and 98% of people move between different devices within the same day. Another interesting Google finding is that people tend to use PCs to keep informed and mobile devices to keep connected. In this case, I think that PCs could compare to radios. Radios, they're keeping informed, and the mobile app, they're keeping connected. And statistics from NPR kind of bear out the idea that there's some overlap across the platforms. 12% of the on-air audience also use their website. 18% of the web users listen to NPR over the air in the past week. 66% of podcast users listen to their on-air broadcasts. But there were no stats yet on the use of their mobile app. In my opinion, NPR's decision to expand into the mobile arena makes a lot of sense in light of the Pew Research Center's the State of the News Media 2012 report that we read this semester. You'll notice that 3/4 of us own laptops or desktops in this nation, and nearly half of us also own smartphones. And I think that a lot of NPR's audience also owns smartphones. The Pew report also noted that Americans are tending to become multi-platform digital news consumers. We get our news from a number of different sources. The next several slides will have some lengthy quotes from the Pew report, and I will also be placing this on the website in the form of a PDF. So if you want to go on and read these longer reports, you can do that, and I'm not going to quote them word for word. Pew also says that the number of consumers who get their news from a number of different devices is on the increase. Pew also noted that reputation or brand is an important factor in determining where consumers go for news. And NPR, of course, has a very good reputation, so this is a natural move for them. I think that a likely part of NPR's strategy is to go after a younger audience, and the Scarborough study on millennial habits that was reported in the Media Post blog does bear out that millennials are going to the internet for their news. So I'd like to share some of my conclusions. First of all, the NPR mobile app is well designed and easy to use. Second, in terms of strategy, NPR has excellent content and loyal audience, but it risks, as the media environment is changing, it risks losing some of its audience if it doesn't have any presence in the mobile area. So expanding here makes a lot of sense, and it also enables it to make a play for audiences that might be younger than its on-the-air demographic. I think it'll be interesting to watch whether younger audiences start listening to NPR via their mobile app. Another feature that will make the NPR mobile app appeal to younger users is the ability to share stories on Facebook, Twitter, or email. The Scarborough study points out that social media is an important place for millennials to learn about news stories. And finally, if NPR wants to attract more younger audiences, it might consider using its mobile app to place more emphasis on breaking news than it currently does on air. The primary people that tend to use mobile devices, according to the Google multi-screen report, is for short bursts of time when they need information quickly and immediately. And the mobile app, of course, is an excellent medium to do this. So something that NPR might want to consider for the future.